Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Namaste friends. Today we are going to explore how Avasthas, which are the Graha states, which like Bharatanatyam poses, some Graha standing pose, some is a sitting pose, some is mentally tuned to something. I mean, these Bharatanatyam is an excellent exposition of life itself. So are the planets, they dance. So we have to tune to that dance in fact. How are these calculated? Because the strength of the horoscope, the avasthas lend a lot of it to the strength of the horoscopes. So it tells more about what's in store for us, what we have to master. And in a way, we are going to master these Graha states with the Excel gates. So, because Excel is a very powerful customization tool. Because avasthas are calculated in all softwares, most of the softwares. Jagannatha has it in it can be easily got from Jagannatha. Already it's, if you take it, it comes under strengths. So under strengths, if you go to the other strengths, and then you have on the right you have the basic avasthas, which tells about the age, the alertness and the mood of the planet, and the activity of the planet is the Sayanadi avastha. So these are the various avasthas. Of course, when you say avasthas like Sayanadi avastha, we have something called intensity 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and all that. Where do we use all these? How do we, what is the meaning of these things? How are these computed? I mean, if we customize this in Excel, we already come to a point where we have to structure the calculations and therefore we understand how these are made. So that way Excel is also a very powerful tool for learning these things. So that's the power of Excel. So that way we have automated these complex calculations, not exactly complex, some are trivial, but some are seemingly trivial, but it involves a little computation. So this would automation of these calculations now in Excel will help us personalize the astrological analysis, and also as an educational aid, as I was telling you, and also in making decision making tool, and also as a astrological we appreciate all that. So let us see how this particular tool called Avasthas is made in Excel. What I give here is the name of the person in DOP sheet. As usual, as before, you can choose which INAMSA you are interested in. You can give the date of birth, time of birth, place of birth, time zone, latitude, longitude. Only till this point you need to give the inputs, rest are all computed. And one extra column I have erected here is at the last, which computes the birth Gatika. I have now a VBA calculator inside. After sunrise, if you are born at some time, or whenever you are born, the time Gatis are calculated from sunrise, because the day itself starts with sunrise, and for the time duration is computed, which Gati you are born at. That is a useful number here in this calculation, so that I have erected it here. So when you come to the base sheet, it is the user has to just input the specific person he is interested in. In addition, he has to also to give the starting phonetic sound of his first name, how he is commonly called, say Kamala. So it should start with Ka. The Devanagari scripts is to be pulled out here. So these are the two inputs here. Because this is for visualizing later, we will see that how it is used. Here is a table running through from left to right, calculating all the avasthas, the Sayanadi avasthas, the Baladi avasthas, the Jagradadi avasthas, the Deeptadi and the Lajjitaadi avasthas. So it is till this point. These are only used. This is the planet relationship uh, whether it is a very neutral or very friendly and all that. This is the planet's relation to its sign lord. And I also have a special table for planet relationship between two planets, Sun, Mercury and all that. So in fact these tables we have made for different computations even earlier. And this is quite useful for this computation, so I have it here as well. So maybe let us break and understand each of these avasthas separately. Let us first maybe take up the Sayanadi avasthas. For all these, you can refer the chapter 45 of BPHS, which lays out this computation. In essence, what this requires is the Sayanadi number, you call it. It is, since it's a table, you can easily understand what it involves. It requires the star number, in star number. In star number means the body, each body, Sun, Moon and Mars. I have given the P number, which is 1, 2, 3 to 9, just the numbering of this in this order, serial number. In star number is where the body is located in which star number. So Sun is located in this case in particular star, in star I think it is in star number 18. So that in star number for that this planet for this person turns out to be 18. So this is used as a input here. Calculating P is used, so this number is used. We have the Pada 9. The Pada 9 is the Navamsa Pada within the Rasi in which this planet is situated. And N birth star is the moon's birth star number. So moon's birth star number is 7. And LR is the, if you take here, the Lagna Rashi's number. Lagna Rashi 10th, it happens to be Capricorn. Capricorn is the 10th sign. So Lagna Rashi's number is LR. G is the Gatika after sunrise when the person is born. If it is say 47.83, then he is born, the 48 would be taken as the Gatika. So 47 over 48 is running, so that way. Here 9 over 10th is running for this person, P9. So with this, you make these calculations and get to a number which is taken as a mod of 12. So this would be max 1 to 12. So based upon this, this is max 1 to 12. Based upon this, each number is associated with a name called Bhojana Avastha, Sabaya Avastha, Netra Avastha. In fact, in case you want to see what is behind it, you have a workspace sheet here and you can know the names of these. I think I have listed Sayana here, Upavesana, Netrapani and all that. So it is, see, as soon as we get up, lying down, Sayana is just lying down. So you are not fully, you are just awake, your awareness just begins, you are not fully awake then. So it is a preliminary state. So that happens to be number 1 then. So if the Sayanadi number comes to be 1, then it is Sayana. If it is 2, Upavesana. So then you are little more prepared, you are sitting, you are more receptive, you are open to ideas. And see, if you see here, it is be more or less mapping exactly to the 12 bhavas of the chart of how we can interpret it. Netrapani is you have started to be more ready. You are guiding the hands now skills. You are getting new skills. You are getting your hands involved. You are beginning to be more interactive. So, but still learning. So this is Netrapani Avastha. Prakashana is all like the 4th house, which basically you are trying to understand better, you are beginning to have ideas, you are illuminating yourself. So this is Prakashana, the 4th Sayanadi Avastha. The Gamana is departing. Basically you are going back to create and solve, because the 5th house of creation, creative intelligence, going somewhere. So you are going after to solve problems and things like that. Agamana is now you have gone there, you have come back to arriving to get involved with the solution. You are taking my adjustments to do that. So Agamana. Sabaya Avastha is congregating. You are now, you have the solution, you get to know, you can now interact with people, you are joining together. So that is a Sabaya Avastha is a good Avastha. Now, after that, Agama, you basically maybe want to change things, you want to transform, you are approaching a change. So, this is like a approaching Agama. Now, after having done all that, you are ready to digest. So, Bhojana is you have the ideas, you have life's knowledge. So, now you are ready to digest. So, this is a very powerful Bhojana Avastha. So, planets are very powerful here. Of course, depends upon whether malefic is Bhojana digesting or benefic is digesting, and all that would tell you the power of the horoscope. Now it is still more stronger here. Nityalipsa, it is desiring to basically dance here. So success, it's more passionately involved in this. So it's Nityalipsa. Kautika is that eagerness and intensity is all the more so now. Very intensive and very eager, curious to get things. So these are very powerful Sayanadi Avasthas. Then of course 12 is going back to sleep and slumber. So everything is standstill here. So this is the way these avasthas are depicted. The entire thing bases upon the number that you get here, the Sayanadi number that you get here. So if the Sayanadi, okay, since I have put two columns here, but essentially the final result would be this. Okay, as I said, it is calculated based upon this calculation. So that number would immediately tell you it is Bhojana Avastha, or Sabya Avastha, or Netrapani Avastha, and all that. Okay. Now, further to this, depending upon the first letter that is going to start for your name, the intensity of this Avastha has to be calculated. So this intensity Fs, I have called it Fs here. If you see here, the everything I have given here. This is the intensity 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. E, K, K, G, G. So as you go down, the intensity mapping is like this given here. So that is depending upon the name, the intensity of this avastha is threefold here. Either it is if you maybe zoom in, it is either low or medium or even full. If chesta, it is called full. If it is vichesta, it is low. If it is drishti, it is medium. So it could be FS1 or FS2 or FS3, FS4 or FS5. This determines whether it should be, if it is Ka, it is FS1. Suppose if it is K, then it becomes FS2. The calculations would be FS3 and FS4. So these are calculated. How these are calculated? Sayanadi type, Sayanadi number, constant one. You can go to the Visual Basic code here. Maybe let me see. Okay. Sayanadi type is calculated here. The Sayanadi type is calculated as the Sayanadi number square plus Fs. So if the Fs is 1, 2 or 3, depending upon your name, and the mod of that with respect to 12 gives the result. And the result is either, as is said, one of the three is Drishti, Chesta or Vichesta. So essentially this result gives the intensity of the avastha. When you go to Jagannath Aura, you see the various intensities. So you can compare this what Excel gives. So depending upon your name, all these numbers are not relevant to you. Only one number would be, one column would be relevant to you. Maybe the intensity 3 alone is relevant to you, because you could be starting with G or something, or the third of the Fs. So that way I am highlighting only that. I am not putting all the, depending upon The calculations are made for all the FS5s, FS1 to FS5, but highlighted is only what is relevant to you. The rest are meaningless to you. So depending on the name. So the name determines the intensity, and of course the Graha position determines the Sayanadi. Graha, all the calculations involved with this Sayanadi Avasthas. Now what are the effects of the Sayanadi Avasthas? So I have just captured whatever is written. Need not be necessarily this. So you can choose Mercury, how is it for you? In your case, Mercury happens to be something. So Kautika, what is the result? So this is, of course, you cannot straight away take these things, but you can, some help in predictions would be helpful, I thought, so I brought this in. So this is all about the Sayanadi Avastha. So next, coming to the Baladi Avastha. Here, if you see, the Baladi Avastha is calculated by a UDF here. You can go and check how the UDF works. The Baladi Avastha. Okay, the UDF is Sayanadi. What did I call it? Baladi Avasthas. Okay. Here, if you see, depending upon whether it is an odd Rashi or a even Rashi, each Rashi is divided into 5 equal units. So 0 to 6 degrees, 6 to 12 degrees, 12 to 18 degrees, 18 to 24 degrees, 24 to 30 degrees. Depending upon the Rashi in which the planet is, whether it is odd Rashi, then the mapping is different. If it is even Rashi, the mapping is different. It's basically the reverse. So odd and even, it is the forward and reverse. So this is how the equal division of the 30 degrees into 5 units gives the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 avasthas, which are like Bala, Kumara, Yuva. They're basically the aging of a person and how you are how good at it. This is available again in Jagannatha in basic avasthas, the age of the person. Okay, you can compare our Excel with that. So this is another portion of it. Jagradadi Avastha. So again you have another, you can go and check how this is calculated. Jagradadi Avasthas. When you come here, it depends upon whether it's a planet in exalted or friendly. So depending upon all that, you need to give it whether it is a dreaming state or a sleep state or a awake state. If it is Jagrata, it is fully awake. If it is dreaming and asleep. So this is how these calculations are made. And so for this, you need the friends relationship, which is the compound relationship, both the natural relationship and the which I have placed here. Natural relationship, the temporary relationship, both compounded together as the compound relationship. We have calculators for all these BD, UDFs and all that. You can go into calculations of how these are also done. Okay. So far that way it is straightforward. Now Deeptadi Avasthas. These are 9 avasthas. So let us check how these are calculated. If you come to Deeptadi Avasthas, let us see where is it. Avasthas 9. So if a planet is in its exaltation Rasi, it is in Deepta Avastha. If it is in own Rasi, it is in Swastha. If in the great friends Rasi, it is Pramodita and all that. You can go through this, how this is computed. So we need basically the status of the planet. So that is how, so I have seen calculated whether it is with the malefics or empty status. Empty is the Mulatrikona status, the exaltation, debilitation status, okay, combustion status. So I have in fact for combustion also, you have a calculator here, UDF here, is combust or not. A planet is combust depending upon how far it is. See, if it is Mercury or Venus, if it is retro, then the degrees are different. If it is direct, then the degrees are different for Mercury and Venus. Whereas for other cases, it is all the same for retro or direct. and the degrees are quite big, but normally this combustion rate doesn't affect people. Very close combustions only affects, but you have to, yeah, note all that clearly, yeah, because now that you know the exact degrees, you know how close they are. So that way you can work out this combustion where it is used. It's not used till these three avasthas. It is necessary for what are called the Lajjitaadi avasthas. These are quite complicated because these avasthas, Lajjitaadi avasthas, if you see, if a planet in exaltation or Mulatrikona, it is Garvita. So that's straightforward. Uh, if a planet is associated with Rahu or Ketu or with the Sun, Saturn or Mars, it is in Lajjitaadi Avastha. If it is in the fifth house, actually, I think placed in the fifth house, that should also be there. If a planet is in enemy Rasi or conjunct with an enemy or receives an aspect, so whether it receives an aspect or not is all very difficult to find in this table itself. So we do find whether it is conjunct with the Sun, with the Jupiter, with the Saturn, the seventh house aspect of that Grahas, the special aspects of the Grahas. Is it aspected on what whether it receives a malefic aspect or a benefic aspect, what is the net aspect, whether it is in a watery sign, and what is the, I call it the star, the sign lord relation to it. So all these are helpful, and finally report the is Lajjitaati Avastha, how is it, Mudita and all that. So this might be a little subjective because some softwares may take into account the full degree aspects, whereas I have taken the fifth house to be directly aspecting. You can check the calculations how far it is coming. So there could be differences, yeah. But yeah, altogether bringing it in Excel for understanding is what the purpose is. And making use of this, there are multiple videos by Ernst Willem and other people. You can, these are very powerful Avastha tools. So definitely make use of this. I'll put this for downloadable in the downloadable link, and give us comments so that we can work upon it further. Thank you.